Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another week. Hope you all are having a wonderful week so far. So last week, we started by understanding the foundation of UI/UX design, UI/UX design skills, importance of UI/UX design, and also examples of good and bad UI/UX design. So today, we'll be touching the career. So we're touching UI/UX design career paths and principles of design. So before we get started, I want to see your reaction on the chat. Just help me and type ready, 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 so that we can start. All right. Okay. That's a good one. Okay. You all are ready. That's really nice. There are a lot of UI/UX design career paths. We have a whole lot, but in today's class, we're going to be touching some of the careers. So we have UI designer, UX designer, UX researcher, UI/UX design specialist, product designer, interaction designer, information architect, and content designer, also known as UX writer. We also have motion designer, but we'll not be discussing this one because of time. We also have motion designers, VR, AR designers, visual designers, UX program manager, conversational designer, illustration designer, etc. So moving forward, from the last class, we started by understanding what the full meaning of UI. Somebody said this was user interface. And so UI designer focuses more on the aesthetics and usability of a product, ensuring visually appealing experience. So as a UI designer, you're going to transform concepts into visually captivating and user-friendly interface. You also focus on aesthetics, which is the beauty of a product, usability of a product, how the user is able to use your product and navigate through. You're going to be responsible for bringing forth products that are clear and are visually appealing. Then we're going to be talking about UX designer. So UX designer, also known as UX engineers, user experience engineer. He designs the entire user experience from your research to the interaction design of a product. As a UX designer, you will help to figure out if products are intuitive and user-friendly. Okay. Then we have UX researcher. As a UX researcher, you conduct studies, interviews, and examine how people use a product. You'll be able to identify users' pain points, the kind of problem their users are facing, and explore how your products will solve the user's problem. As a researcher, you answer questions like, what problems are users facing? Is the design of a product easy to use by users? Will people be interested in this new feature they're adding to your product? Whether it's for a new product or an already existing product, you're going to be carrying out a lot of research. If it's a new product, is this product going to solve users' problems? An existing product, is this feature that we want to add going to, like, are users going to be interested? Would they like to use this new feature? Yeah. Then we have UI UX design specialist is somebody that specializes on the UI aspect, which is the visual aspect of design, and the UX aspect, which is the user experience of the design, in creating designs that are not only visually appealing but also usable. Then we have product designers. As a product designer, you oversee the entire design process of a product. You start by understanding users' needs. That means you're going to be doing the user research. You'll be in charge of the functionality, that's the interaction, aesthetics, the UI aspect, and also the market fit. Will these products thrive in the market? Product designers are often called generalists because they know and understand other branches of design, which can be motion design, interaction design, graphics design, and so on and so forth. And also the importance of this product in the market. Because you cannot just put products out there that users are not going to use. If the product is out there, the company is not going to be making profits. So you'll be like, you oversee all aspects of the design as a product designer. Then you have interaction designer. As an interaction designer, you focus on designing the experience of products and how it functions. As an interaction designer, you strive to understand users' flow and the path a typical user takes to complete a task on a website or an app. So, for instance, if you want your users to take an assessment, how do users undergo these tasks? What are the steps? What are the flow that they take to submit their final response in the application or website? So you also answer questions like, what should happen if a user clicks on a button? It can be add to cart, it can be submit, it can be buy now. You also make this action easy for users, like the kind of action you want your users to undergo in your app or website. Make it easy for them so that they don't have to go a long process to just add a product to their cart or add a product to their favorite, for instance, or make a transaction. Then we have information architect. I will mention this in our last class. As an information architect, you'll be in charge of organizing and structuring of content in a logical and user-friendly ways so that your users will be able to see this content and identify them and make use of it. As an information architect, you'll be in charge of how your users perceive content and how they make use of the content, okay? Then we have US writers, from the name writer. As a US writer, you think about how to make the language within your app or website clear so that user experience will be more intuitive. As a writer, you are more like the brand and the voice of a product. You're more like the voice and personality of a product, in the sense that, do you want the kind of language user perceive in your application or website to be technical, or do you want it to be user-friendly? Do you want it to be friendly in a way? Your work will include writing labels, like button labels, CTA buttons, make it short, concise, and compiling, and make it easy for users to identify, understand, and read. I hope I'm not confusing us. So you will be in charge of the kind of content, the kind of language that goes into your application or website. As a US writer, you're more like the voice of your product and also a personality of a product. You focus on asking questions like, what words should we use to communicate an idea? So if you want a user's, the kind of information you're trying to convey to users, you have to use a right tone to convey this information to your users. Do you want your tones to be friendly, get started, or do you want to click to get started, depending on the kind of tone you want your users to perceive in your application or website. So I'll be stopping here for the UIUX career path. So before we move forward, does anyone have any questions so far? Before we move to the next aspect. If you have any question, just raise up your hand and I will ask you to speak. Does anyone? Okay, nobody. That means okay. Angel, go ahead.
Good evening, ma.
Good evening.
Okay. Please, my network disconnected when you are explaining product specialist, UI design specialist, please.
Okay, I will go
Thank
over.
you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me go to the slide. Yeah, here. As a UI/UX design specialist, you're focusing on both the UI and the UX aspects, which you said in the last class. UI has to do with the visual aspect of a product, and UX has to do with the user experience. The journey, like the overall experience the user takes from the beginning of your app, from when he downloads the app from Play Store to when he perform a task which he wants to use the application to perform, right? Does that answer your question? Okay, it's not saying anything. Angel, are you there?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
Are you clear?
Yes, ma.
Are you sure?
I think at the course of the program, I will understand it better, ma.
Okay, no problem. Okay, you can meet back. Henry, you can ask your question.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, so my question is, from your explanation, these are different types of or sections in UI UX. So my question is now, to be a successful UI UX designer, out of all of these different sections you've mentioned, is there like any specific one? We know Nigeria might not want to employ, companies in Nigeria might not want to employ specialists in this for like newbies. Is there like any particular one that we should focus on while we learn? That's my question. I hope you understand. I hope I'm clear.
I guess your question. I always say, as a beginner, it's always good to have idea because you don't know where you find yourself tomorrow. It's always good to understand it. Then maybe when you're not advanced, you cannot pick the one that you're most interested in. You understand? Does that answer your question?
Okay, so if I understand you, we should have an idea of everything you've talked about.
Yes, as a beginner,
Okay.
yes. Because if you don't understand something, there's no how you pick it and want to build a career on it. That's why it's always good to understand why the role each of them plays, and then you cannot pick when you want to advance later.
Okay, thank you.
To expose it to almost all of them.
All right, thank you.
Yes. Susan, you can ask your question.
Good evening, ma. Okay, my question is, can someone focus on UX writer, the one you're explaining right now, like as a niche? We can just focus on, is it possible for us focus on to be UX writer, not?
Yes. You can pick anyone and specialize in anyone.
Oh, okay, ma.
Because you are a beginner, so it's always good for you to know what you are putting your leg into. You understand?
Okay, ma. Yes, I do. Thank you, ma.
Samuel.
I want to ask, amongst all the subdivisions you mentioned, or the bits you mentioned,
Come in, noisy please. Just type your message here. Or you can move away and unmute and ask again. Your place is very noisy. Okay, I'll wait for your question on the chat. Yeah. Okay, I think that will be all for now. Okay. Henry, your hand is still raised though. You want to ask a question? You can Samuel, go ahead. Lily Osa, sorry.
Good
You can unmute your
evening,
mic.
Ilusa. Okay, so I
Okay.
wanted to ask if there is a room for a single person to be all of those things. Is there a room for somebody to be the UX writer, the designer, and every other thing that you mentioned?
Yes, there's always room. There's plenty of room. You can be there. The sky is your stepping point. You can do everything if you want to do. That's why they cannot call you a product designer at that stage now. You understand? Because like you have idea about everything and also the market fit. You understand?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that will be all. So moving forward will be okay. So we'll be touching the principles of design. We have a lot of principles, like a whole lot of principles out there, but we just touch some of it, then you go home and read up on the other principles. So we have contrast, balance, unity, hierarchy, consistency, accessibility, scalability, simplicity. Yeah. So contrast refers to how different elements in a design, particularly adjacent elements, are placed. Contrast plays, okay, Adedamola can speak.
Okay, all right. We have two questions in the chat box.
All right,
And one says, I want to ask regarding the career path. I don't understand why UI/UX design specialist is under the UI/UX career path.
Wow, that's a tricky one. Okay.
So this person wants to understand why UI/UX design specialist is under the career path in UI/UX design.
Okay. You know, when we talk about UI/UX career path, you know, it refers to like professional journeys that you can take within a field. It's either you are a UI or a UX. In a case where you are not like a UI and a UX designer, you cannot call yourself a specialist because you're not specializing on the UI aspect and the UX aspect of things. That is why you see it under the career path. Hope that answers her question. Please give your reaction.
All right, Olaide.
Okay. Is there another question?
I hope we are clear. Okay, the second question. Yes. This person says that which of the niche or subdivision can one focus on that covers others?
Product design.
Correct.
Some product design. Okay, so we're talking about contrast. Where the question came in. Sorry. So contrast is very important aspect of creating accessibility in design. Before we continue, can you tell me what they understand by principle on the chart? Or if you know the answer, you can just like raise, like just two people. You can just raise your hand. I'll call your name, then you can answer. The word principle, design principle. Anyone? Okay, Victor.
Yes.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, design principle, according to, in my own words, can mean the basic guidelines for making a good design.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Victor. Angel, do you have anything to add? You can unmute and speak.
Okay, yes, ma. It can be defined as the lay down rules in the field of product design.
Thank you so much. Okay, Vincent, to be the last person. Okay, Vincent, you can unmute and speak now.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Okay, from my own explanation, it can be a kind of ethics and the rules that govern the design.
Yeah, thank you. You all are correct. Thank you so much for that. So under the design principles, I was talking about contrast. So I was like, contrast is how different elements in a design, particularly adjacent design, are placed, right? It's also it's an important aspect in creating accessible design. Insufficient contrast will make your design make it difficult for users to read and understand. So looking at this image that we have here, if the text is white, I'm not sure any of us will be able to like read and understand it. So that's why it's always, there's a rule, I think my personal rule, yeah, that anytime I'm using a white or a general, anytime I'm using a white background, I should always make use of a darker colors for my text so that it's able to be legible and readable and clear for users to like see and understand. Then we have balance. Balance in design refers to the arrangement of elements in a way that creates a sense of visual stability and equilibrium. So once your element is balanced, once an element is
Hi, Chamaka, we can hear you again.
so sorry. I don't know. I was speaking. I think I was muted. So sorry about that. So balance in design refers to the arrangement of elements in a way that creates a sense of equilibrium and stability. So we have two types of balance. Looking at this image right here, you see that the right side and the left side is balanced. Then we have two types of balance. We have symmetrical and asymmetrical balance. Symmetrical balance is when there is an equal weight in either side of your page or an element of an imaginary line. So if you look at this, the first image here where you have the cycle, see that okay, there is an imaginary line here. You can see my mouse, and there's an imaginary line here showing balance of this element. Then you have asymmetrical. So this is where you have defined weight of elements in your page or a screen. Then we have unity. So unity in design refers to visual harmony within an interface. All elements in your design, when I say elements, I mean your icons, your buttons, your texts, your color, your images, they must work together to create a unified wholeness. So anything that you are putting in must create a sense of uniformity, yeah. Then we have hierarchy. A lot of people kept asking this question in the chat. What is hierarchy? Hierarchy. Okay, hierarchy, I'm going to like define hierarchy again. Is a process on art of placing the most important element in your design first. For instance, a title on your page should be placed first with emphasis. Okay, for instance, looking at this principle of design, so that it's bold, it's outstanding. This is why you want your users to like see it and recognize, okay, this is the most important thing here, which is a principle of design in a page. Looking at this image here, it's where you have Kevin Smith, a UI UX designer, and you also have another card of Kevin Smith, a UI/UX designer. Looking at the first one, you see that there's no set of hierarchy. Everything is just like in your face. Then looking at the second one, you see that, okay, the Kevin Smith now is the first thing that the designer wants us to see. It's bold, it's outstanding, then followed by a UI/UX designer, then followed by maybe his bio. Yeah. Then we have consistency. Okay, Benita.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Please, can you differentiate between the hierarchy and constructs? I don't get both of them.
Okay. I say from hierarchy. Don't you think about hierarchy? Just think about it as putting the most important element first. Like when you want to write an assignment now, you must first of all put the title of the assignment first. Then you can now start by the body. That is how design works too. Then contrast is looking at this image here. You see that, okay, the background is yellow and the text is black. That's how you're able to see it. If I change this text to white, you will not be able to see it now because there's not enough contrast and it's not clear for you to read and understand. Do you understand?
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Then we have consistency, from the word to be consistent. As a UI/UX designer, you must always be able to understand your user's behavior. That is why if you pick a particular color, a particular typeface, typography, a particular layout for your design, it's always advisable to stick with it. The moment you start playing around with it, you're no longer consistent. And you can actually tarnish your brand identity. People are not able to identify your brand when they see it. Looking at this first image, when the designer started, he started by laying using the color blue and placing a card, a short card where you have main menu bar on top. I don't know if you can see the image clear. You see, he followed through across all screens. Even if he's designing 7 screens, this is going to be consistent across. Then looking at the image below, you see that he plays on top, plays by the side, plays by the left. It's just he's not really consistent. That's why it's always advisable to pick a particular color, pick a particular layout, an icon pack on the beginning of your design and stick with it. You don't just start and then start changing in the middle of your design. You will no longer be consistent. Then you end up confusing your users. Then you have accessibility. Accessibility is one aspect of design that I really enjoy because it gives you room to design for different users, even those people with disability. In order for you to carry out a good accessibility in design, you must be able to acknowledge your designers, your users of diverse environment and diverse conditions. You bearing in mind at this stage, they are designing for those people with ability and those people with disability. For a good product that utilizes accessibility in their design is Google. Where Google gave you a Google Assistant. If you're not able to type, you can use your voice and speak. It seems like you're doing a normal activity with just your voice rather than using your hand. They also have the Siri where you can just, okay, call my mom and to just call your mom. And if you look at your WhatsApp, when you go to change your typeface, you see that there are different sizes of fonts. For people that cannot really see small fonts, they can actually use a big one to interact on their app or website. Then we have scalability. As you're designing for yourself, for a company or a brand, you must always give room for growth. Bearing in mind that what is on trend today might not be in trend in the next 5 years. You must always give room for your design to grow with time. And when you design product that's scalable, that in future they can actually like update it, adjust it. You don't have to like start afresh and start like designing. Then you have simplicity. This principle encourages you to like use simple designs, use simple text, simple layouts to convey information on your product. If you give users complex information, they might not be able to use your product. They end up running away. So complexity should be minimized to improve usability and understandability. I think we'll be stopping here for the design principles for today. Does anyone have any question on sign? You can raise up your hand and ask your question now. Are we clear? Okay. Rashidat, sorry, Rashidat here.
Good evening, ma.
Good evening.
Please, ma, can you like just give a summary of the class?
Good evening.
Hi.
Good evening.
Sorry, can you come again?
Like, can you recap like a summary of the class?
From where?
Thank you.
From the beginning?
Yes, ma.
You did not join. What happened?
It's network that did not allow me to join.
Okay. You can also go and watch it on YouTube.
Okay.
Yes, you can. Then if you have any question, you can ask on the chat. Going back, assuming you stop halfway, I can actually go half for you. But from beginning, I don't know. If there's time, I will actually do that for you. But let's get other questions. Just keep raising your hand for now. Emmanuel.
Okay.
Yeah. Emmanuel, you can unmute your mic and ask your question.
Hello, ma'am.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Good evening. I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead, speak.
Yeah, my question is consistency, as you have explained. Does it relate to using the same elements, color, typography, and all other aesthetics as far as digital product is concerned?
Yes. They're what we call design system. It's not like a set of reusable components or elements. So once you have picked, it's always advisable, like when you want to cook at home, it's always advisable to like get all your cooking ingredients available. If you don't do it at that stage, you end up missing a whole lot of things. Or and you might be using the same color, you might think you're using the same color, maybe color blue. By the end of the year, using different things and shades of it, and which might be off your brand identity. You understand? So at the beginning of your product, you must always like pick all the elements that you want to use in it. If you want to use a color red, it's always advised. If you want to use 7 colors in your design, stick with those 7 colors. If you want to use 18, make sure you're sticking with those 18 colors. If you want to use 1, stick with 1. If you're using like an icon that is light, stick with that icon that is light. If you're using a navigation bar that is home, settings, profile, you cannot just start with that. Then in the middle of it, you're having add to cart on your navigation when from the beginning it's not there. You understand? Man, is that clear?
Yeah, that's clear. Thank you.
Korede. Please, when you unmute your mic, pronounce your name for me.
My name is Akorede.
Okay, thank you.
Am I clear or not?
You said?
Am I clear or not?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. My question has to do with when we kind of finish our training. I know we are going to be, at least you have an idea of different roles. So the question is that when we are hunting for jobs, should we show our proficiency in other roles except from UI UX design, other roles like UX writing and like you have explained? The reason why I'm asking is that there are some employers they prefer you to stick with a particular role, and they will pay you well. And there are some other employers that they will prefer you to be proficient in all other roles too, but they are going to pay you for only one role.
That is why when you're applying for jobs, but we're still beginners. I don't know. Are we still applying for jobs already?
No, I'm
Because
just
okay,
asking
it's always
in advance.
it's always advisable to tailor your CV to the job's requirements. So if they're asking for a UI UX designer, I know you're really good and you have projects to show for it. You can tailor your project to that your CV to that aspect. But also know that okay, they're looking for a UI UX and a US writer, and you know that okay, you can write very well. I always advise you can actually go for it, depending on the kind of job and the requirements of the job. And every job has requirements.
All right, I understand. Thank you.
Gloria.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Please, I want to be cleared on that consistency. Can you relate it to also mean be repetition?
Repetition. Repetition is just like repeating elements in your product. I'm not really certain. Then consistency is sticking with elements. I don't know if I'm clear. You know,
Yeah.
when you talk about consistency, you're talking about brand identity. Repetition, you can just repeat other elements. But we're talking about color now. We have picked a particular blue to be your brand identity. It's always good to stick to it. But I will still do proper research and get back to you on this. Yeah?
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, Oluwa Tosin, can ask the question.
Hey, Ma.
Good evening.
Yeah. Please, I want to ask if it's ideal or it's proper for one to use a particular color. For instance, let's say you want to add icons of different social medias on a design. You know, Facebook has a particular color, IG has a particular color, WhatsApp has a particular color. Is it ideal for one to use a particular color to represent those icons? So you're following the principle of unity or consistency.
If I'm
What do
getting
you
your
call
question
that?
right, okay, let's say you're designing with green.
Yes.
Facebook
Let's say
is
green and white.
yes, and Facebook is blue. Right? Yeah. It's always advisable to stick with Facebook brand identity, but in some cases you can actually go neutral by making it white. Black or gray. But it's always advisable to acknowledge the brand that you are putting on your product. But often, if you see that it's not looking fine, you can actually go neutral. Like you can change it to black, but don't change it to your green. That would be really off. You understand?
Okay, because I've seen the designs like that they change it to their own color. Like YouTube page, they will use the same color. Like I've seen like green, they will change everything to green so that to follow the principle of unity. Abi? I don't know, maybe I'm correct with that.
Yes, because it's not really a good practice. It's not really a good practice because yes, yeah, even as much as you want your design to be outstanding, you're actually spoiling other people's brand identity too. And Facebook cannot be green.
And YouTube cannot be green.
Yeah. So you
Okay,
just
thank you. Thank you.
Vincent.
All right. Good evening. Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me from here?
I can hear you.
Okay, my question is, please, can you bring back the slide on the hierarchy? Hello, ma'am. Please, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, bring the slides on hierarchy.
Can you see it now?
Okay.
your question.
Yeah, I can see it. Okay. What makes this the first picture unacceptable? Is it the accessibility or the contrast? Because on this other side, I cannot really see this one that is acceptable. Cannot really see it well. All the things there. What makes this one different from this one? Thank you.
Okay. We were talking about contrast now. I know that this design is not really visually appealing. This text here is really difficult to read. But at this point, we're looking at hierarchy, right? I'm trying to say that, okay, the important thing, which is the person's name, Kevin Smith, is the important thing there. Then this bio is meant to be small because it's not really the important thing there. The person you're supposed to see is the person's name, your name, what the person does, and then the bio. Important, follow suit like that. But here you just, even the bio is competing with the UI UX designer, making Kevin to look as if it's not important again.
Okay.
Yeah, but I get your point.
Yeah.
When you talk about contrast now, this one is not really standing now. They should make the black pop a little. You understand? Instead of making it all gray.
Okay.
Are you clear?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, me.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Like,
All right. I want you to please take the slide back to this. I didn't get that part.
you're breaking. Come again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I said
The network is bad. Maybe you should just type it on the chat. Just type your question.
can please help me take the slide back to the UI UX design specialist. The slide before it, I didn't get that part.
Okay. Did you join late?
All right.
Please, me type your question on the chat.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That is what I'm doing.
Okay, you can meet and do that. I will respond to you. Yeah? Gloria.
Please, sorry, I'm asking again. When you talked about that symmetric and asymmetric line, please, can you throw more shade on it? I was kind of lost trying to comprehend what you're talking about.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Gloria, looking at this image that is here, what do you understand between the first and the second one? Like, what's the natural thing that you're looking at? Gloria, can you hear me? Gloria. Okay. You're speaking, we can't hear you. They'll just wait for us to come back then. Harry, please, you
I
can.
think it's a line like there is add something.
I was not hearing you. Wait again. Okay. Henry, you can unmute and ask your question now while we wait for Gloria. Henry, are you
Hello,
there?
good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, I'm here. Okay, so my question is was on scalability. Though I know we know that designing, but how do we get to determine, like, how do you get to determine, okay, that how do you get to factor scalability in trying to prepare for a design? Are they like things to watch out for?
It's just for scalability, right? It's just for you to like research more, anticipate future trends. So that when you're designing, you'll not be designing ancient way of things. You're designing that, okay, if you're designing like a product now, you just bear in mind, okay, that AI is on trend now. What's been trend next year? You try to like make room for such this thing aspect. You understand? Henry, can
Not, yeah, I'm with you. Not really. Okay, what I want to ask now is it that you have it like, and maybe when you are communicating to the maybe developer or those the product owner, you let them know that
no,
these
like
are the, or how do you factor it? Is there like, how do you take a portion for it?
so come again.
Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Because it's not something that you are putting in the design yet. Is there like a portion for it, or how does it work, or it to be part of your maybe your presentation?
You can actually put it in part of your documentation for future use.
All right, I think that I found with this one. Thank you.
Sorry, Henry, are you clear? Somebody was
Yes,
speaking.
I'm clear. Yeah, I'm very clear based on what you said about noting it down in our documentation. Thank you.
Okay, then you have this in Ade Bukola.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Please, can you shed more light on contrast? Like
Okay.
a little bit explanation about it. Thank you.
Right. Okay. Bukola, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So when you're designing, right? In order for you to make it easy for your users to read and understand what's on your page or screen, right? You must be able to use um, different different weights of colors for adjacent elements. What do I mean by that? So if your background is white, it's always advisable to use a darker shade of any color to write on that white background. If your background is dark, it's always advisable to use a lighter shade, e.g. white, to write on that background so that it will be easier for your users to read and understand. You know that some of your users might have color blindness, you understand?
Yes.
Yeah, so, and maybe eye problem. So that's why you have to make your write-up to pop, depending on the background that you are writing on. For instance, just
Okay.
imagine that, okay, this our whole background now is blue. Then I write this principle of design in blue. It might not, you'll not be able to like read and understand it. That is why this background is white and I'm using a dark shade. And I'm using a dark shade of blue to write, which is the KodeCamp brand identity color. Is that clear?
Yes, thank you.
Let me, I don't know if Gloria is back. Vincent, do you have another question?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. Mine is just a kind of a suggestion. Okay, please. Hello, ma. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, please. Just think it would be much important for us to divide this class into two sections. That is the theoretical part and the practical part. So
Sorry.
is to me what we are dwelling so much on this theoretical part. So I think it will be important for us to also see how we can, practice whatever we say. Thank you.
Okay. So this is our second class. We don't just jump into the practical aspect like that. You must be able to understand terms and terminologies before you can get started. Don't worry, relax. When the practical aspects come, you will know. Yeah?
All right.
Enjoy.
I'm glad. All right. Thank you, ma.
I think that'll be all. Okay. Rashida, please, if you please when it's time for meeting, please, sorry, class, please try and join on time so that we don't have to go back and front. Please, if you don't understand from the beginning, just quickly raise up your hand so that we know if you are going back or she will go and watch the YouTube video again.
Hello, ma.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can watch the recording if it's available. I would understand.
Yeah, it's always available. You watch it on YouTube.
Yes, I would understand. Thank you.
And if you have any question, you can always ask on the chat. Yeah?
Okay, ma.
Yeah. So tonight I'll be dropping our take-home task. So we'll always put our eyes on the chat. Because after this call, I'll be dropping our task for the class, for today's class. Yeah. So then Jessica, you have a question?
No, I don't really have a question. We were talking about people that do not join the class early. It's a reason behind. I mean, I joined the class when we started, but my data finished, so I continued from when we were talking about the principles of design. So I'm not really get to hear the explanation of the UIUX design career path.
Sorry, come again.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I said you were asking people that you know join the class early, they should raise up their hand. But
Yeah.
me now, I joined the class earlier, but my data got exhausted. So before I could start and
I'm so sorry about that.
about the principles of the design. So I not really get the UI design career part, the first part of the class. I not really get
You didn't get the UI design and UX design aspect.
the design career part because what was on the screen was UI designer, UX designer, UX researcher. That was the first part of the class, like today's class.
I'm really finding it difficult to understand what you are saying.
Serious.
Okay.
Today,
You joined the class, sorry. Jessica, you joined the class,
yes.
right? You started the
Yes.
class, the data finished. So
Yes.
where were we when your data exhausted?
That was when you just started the class. You've not like you just flashed on your screen the UI UX design career path.
Okay. So you just so sorry about that. You just gonna watch the YouTube video, yeah? If you have any question, tag me on the channel, I'll answer you. Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Uchenna, if it's the same problem, you just go and watch the video. But if it's a different question, you can unmute and ask.
Yes, please, I would like to know, will the slide be shared because you are too fast, so I couldn't jot anything.
Oh, so sorry about that. Don't worry, next time I'll be slow. Yeah? Sorry, I didn't know that was bad. I didn't, Dami.
Yes, I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, some people were asking about the YouTube link. So I want to let them know that they can just type out KodeCamp on YouTube and they get to see the class, UIUX beginner class. So you watch the video according to the ones you want to watch. I want to watch the one from the previous class, which was last week, or today's one. or consecutive classes. So that's number one. Concerning the LMS that somebody was asking in the chat box, it will be communicated to you on Discord. Just pay attention to the messages on Discord and follow accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dami. Thank you. Collins, you have a question? Collins. Okay, not sure he's here. All right. Sorry.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, my question is that please can you make these slides available to us like you did with the first class?
I'm not promising you, but I'll look into it. So if you see the slide, I don't know if you see the slide, so I'll see what I can do about it.
All right, thank you very much.
Because the slide might just confuse you, and that will not be nice. Okay, Victor.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
I just wanted to ask, they said something about the LMS onboarding and it's to close by 25th. So I don't know, are we to worry about it? Because are we to do the tax on the LMS or the tax you can do or maybe Google Doc and submit or something like that?
So any task that will be assigned before the LMS onboarding, you had to do it. I will communicate on the Discord channel. Just look out for the mails. I will tell you how you are going to submit, or you can submit it or not.
No problem.
So don't worry. Yeah. Okay. Oluwatosin.
Ma.
You have a question?
Hello, ma.
Yes, we can hear you. Good evening.
Yes, ma. Please, I need more explanation on the Unity, please. I need to understand it very well. With the slide, I need more explanation on the Unity. With the slide you presented, I couldn't get it very well, please. If you can help out with that, please. Thank you.
Okay. So when you talk about unity in design, it's more like the relationship between elements in your design. When you want to design, it's always advisable to make sure that all your elements, your buttons, your colors, your image, they are all working together to create a unified wholeness. Looking at this picture you have here, you have a card, a blue card. Then you also have another blue, a dark light of blue, another card. Looking at this, everything is working together, making it look as if this image is just one image, but they're just different cards representing one image. I hope you understand.
Okay, Raj. Thank you.
Are you sure?
Sure. I'm sure. I'm fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Rollins, you can unmute and ask your question.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
So, I joined late, so I wanted to get clarity on the take-home task that you were talking about.
Okay,
Is it
that was communicated on the Discord channel.
Ma?
Data has to be communicated on the Discord channel. I only said
Okay, thank you.
look out for the task.
Okay, thank you.
Akorede. Please, someone should help me out. Dami. Okay.
Akinsola.
Akinsola. Akinsola, if you have a question, you can unmute and ask now.
Okay. Good evening, ma.
Good evening.
I was wondering if the slides would be put on the Discord like the last class we had.
I'm not promising, but I will get back to you on Discord. Yeah, if I want to give, I will just give you resources to read because this slide is quite empty. I'm not sure it will do justice. Yeah. So
Okay, ma.
I'll promise you resources that you
Okay, ma.
can.
Thank you, ma.
Yeah. I think that'll be all. Yeah. So the absence of no other question. So we just call it the night and see you guys on Friday. Bye.
Thank you.